The African Caribbean American Advocacy Coalition will hold its first annual State House Day on February 6th. This will be a chance to raise the community's profile and strengthen connections at the State House. To tell us about the event and some of the people being recognized are an illustrator and comic book maker and founder of Ink on Paper, Rob Stull, and the co-founder and president of the coalition, Clifton Braithwaite. Thank you both very much for being with us.
Thanks. Thank you.
I want to start with Clifton to talk about the people that you're representing in this coalition. This is a pretty broad base we're talking about.
We definitely look at it as a broad paintbrush. A lot of things in our communities across the Commonwealth affect us all, and voting is very important. So what we decided to do was make a coalition of different nationalities working together on one common cause, which is one, to make sure that we take care of the things that affect us all: housing, economics, health issues, crime, restorative justice, healthcare. These are issues that affect everybody, no matter what walk of life you walk. So our theory and our mission is, one, to galvanize all the Commonwealth residents to say we need to work together and we need to have a common goal. And let's set the tradition like Massachusetts usually does, which shows the rest of the country what to do. We're going to bring this collaboration together as a great unit.
Rob, you're at this event because you're going to be honored, but you're an artist. I mean, yes. You could just do the art, let the art speak for itself. But you're showing up here, and what's the importance of being with all of the other people at this event and doing those connections at the State House?
I think if I could bring it back to early memories and recollections is. I think it's important to show the connection. Like I have a formula: connection, inspiration, and creation. And that holds true with not only what I do in visual arts, but other areas and other genres like music or hip hop or what have you. Once people are given that connection, they become inspired to create. And that gives you product,
Listen, talk about some of the other people that are going to be honored. Some of these are, cultural, achievers, and some other people too.
I'll hit that target, but to give a brief history of myself, I started in the music industry as marketing and promotion. Of course, I started as an artist. In my years in marketing and promotion for record labels, I realized that there was a gap where arts and entertainment was no longer being visual in social issues. So I decided to make a switch and went heavily as an advocate. And one that we honored is Rob Stull. And the reason why we honored Rob Stull, my good friend, another recipient of a citation who does a lot of work with the Sickle Cell agency, Boston Sickle Cell, Stan Jenkins, has his artwork at home, at his house. And I was very intrigued with the artwork. And when I found that it was a close friend, and this opportunity came about where we're having this event held at the State House February 6th, I said, I got to have him in there because that's arts and culture. And then when I heard that he was world renowned, working in Marvel comic books, DC, and he was the person behind the face that we all love comic books, those who love comic books, didn't know that one of the greatest artists working in these comic books was from Boston, Massachusetts. And he was a dear friend of mine, Stan Jenkins, who involved me to start working and hosting events for the Boston Sickle Cell Foundation awareness. So it came around full circle.
There's an interconnectedness.
Yes.
An element to it.
Yeah, so once that happened, it just springboard from there. Another person that we're honoring, please give a prayer out for the founder, the general of the New Editions, Mr. Maurice Starr himself. Please say a prayer for him, y'all. He's sick, but we're still going to honor him. He can't make it here from Florida. And so we're honoring people that came from my era that were influential in me being a part of wanting to make a difference. We also honoring Ed O.G., a hip-hop legend, one of the only ones that I know of from Boston that's in the Hip Hop Hall of Fame. And one of the songs that springboarded Mr. Ed O.G. was Be a Father to Your Child. And that gave a consciousness to a lot of people in my community. Even though the seed was dropped or the pebble was dropped in the water, and it takes sometimes years for ripple effects to start affecting people, but the message he put in when we were younger stayed close to a lot of us who grew up in that era, to make a difference in your community, to make a difference for your family. So once again, I really truly believe that arts and culture is the basis to humanity. Because when you're down, what do you listen to? Music. If you're in trouble, what do? You get into arts. So a lot of the things that we're talking about is education in school. When he was in school, he did some art, but imagine if the art wasn't there.
Yeah.
Imagine if music and we didn't have a place to go practice. Ed O.G. and the Bulldogs wouldn't be here now.
There are a lot of things, I didn't mean to
No, go ahead.
There are a lot of things we take for granted too. Growing up, we had access to all of these things. We had art class, we had music class, we had auto shop, wood shop, and a lot of those programs are no longer available in schools now. So, to almost as a sense of giving back, to recognize and make those connections, is a positive thing. I always feel like if you have something that you do that you're passionate about, and the youth can find something from that, if they can get inspired by it, if they co-sign what you do, you're in, because youth always dictates, what's hot or the new thing. If you can get them on board with what you're doing, then it evolves. It has a life beyond just your contributions.
And I'm glad you mentioned about the part about evolving. It's just a springboard.
Yeah.
Because also in our communities, we just don't want everyone to get caught up in arts and entertainment, because you need doctors,
right.
You need scientists. But if you can gravitate to a young man or woman, and some people misconstrued that it's what area you live in. I have friends that have $1 million parents, wealthy, and they're on the street. I have friends who came from disreputable homes and ended up becoming the rich ones of the family.
Yeah.
So it's about what you learn, and we just use arts and entertainment as a springboard to let the kids hear an ear. Oh, they're cool. I like his artwork. Mm-hmm. But really, our main focus is to get them engaged and let them understand that there's other things in life you can do besides art and entertainment. Because once you get old, if you only had a one-hit wonder song, that's it. Not many are going to be like Ed O.G., who tours all over the world, has strong music, and never had to work a day in his life as far as a regular job. So he's living his ultimate dream.
Yeah.
And it started from a youth program. So we want to engage and we ask all those out there who have the opportunity to help with youth programs. That's the start. Early development, childhood, as you're a young adult, youth, teenager. You have to keep them active. But just don't focus on basketball, because there's a small percentage who gets in the NFL, NBA. Yep. There's a small percentage that, even though he's an artist and he broke through the mold, there's a small percentage. So there's other things you have to get involved in. And this is just a springboard, like I said before.
This is BNN News. We're talking about the African Caribbean American Advocacy Coalition with Rob Stull and Clifton Braithwaite. Rob, talk about your own beginnings as an artist, because you had some of this going on around you when you're growing up.
Well, yeah, my father is a retired architect. He had a firm. It was the oldest black-owned firm in this part of the country. Like I said, he's retired now, but throughout the house when I was growing up, there were several visually positive reinforcements, in the form of sculpture, paintings, and what have you, that played a role in, I think, the forming and the shaping of my sensibilities as an artist. So, but it wasn't like they were unattainable. Or in other words, he didn't have like Rembrandts and Picassos hanging on the wall. The art was done by friends of the family, oftentimes local artists, who inspired me tremendously when I was growing up, like Paul Goodnight, Nelson Stevens, Napoleon Jones Henderson. So that made it real, knowing that there were real people that were attached to these works of art that I had access to via my parents. So they did several things like that when I was growing up. They would put me or take me to art openings, gallery openings. Probably at an age where I was too young to fully appreciate it, but it was significant in that it planted those seeds early on.
You've done work with comic books, and I look at some of your images. I see heroic qualities that mirror the community. Sometimes they're real figures like Muhammad Ali too.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
my favorite right there.
Well, you work for mainstream comics. That's pretty much what sells, the superhero stuff. So I've been in the comic book industry for over 2 decades, but I've been doing professional art longer. And I broke in as a professional artist, actually doing advertising and graphic design and things like that. And comic books was another avenue.
Tell me about Athena, your figure of Athena.
Oh, Golden Athena?
Golden Athena.
That's part of a series I have called Spirit Sister. The title Spirit Sister is inspired by the title of a painting by one of my heroes from early on. And the project incorporates women. It's a series of illustrations and women that have influenced me in a positive way throughout my life. So there's family members there, but then there's other people that might even be of the celebrity variety, if you will. Golden Athena is the title of that particular piece you mentioned, and that's one half of La Nubians, the international recording artists, 2 sisters.
There's one other figure that intrigues me, the man with the wraparound headphones and the connection figure, I guess.
Oh yeah, that's connection. That's my creative concept. And it basically fuses music and visual art. 2 things that are important to me because there's all kinds of facets that go into my creative process.
Clifton, there's so much going on at this event. Talk about the time and place, because there are things that might be of interest not only to people you're honoring, but people who are looking for opportunities as well, right?
Yeah, we have a great rally slated for the community. The first part starts where we're giving the citations of honor to gentlemen such as himself. There's another guy that I forgot, Terry Beefy Cousins, Dorchester Eagle football coach. He also works at Boston City working with at-risk youth. And we have a saying that we say together, they're only at risk because no one's paying attention. That's the only reason they're at risk, because if you take the time to talk to these youth, you'll find out that they want to head somewhere, but they need leadership. They need to believe in you. Guidance. The first part, like I said, is the ceremony part. We're going to have like a lot of African drums in the beginning. We have a youth choir singing the national anthem. Then we have another one singing the Black national anthem. And I'm waiting on confirmation for someone from the Irish delegate part to sing their national anthem. Nice. Like I said, this is a cultural group.
It's multicultural, right?
Multicultural.
Right.
Yes, sir.
Who else are we honoring? What else is going on? At 12 o'clock, we're going to have lunch. At around 12:35, we'll start the rally talk where we're telling the community as a committee what our top priorities, where you should know, are laid at. Some of the organizations that we have right now on the bill, Red Cross. Red Cross deals with the foundation of receiving blood. And it's very important across the country right now. There's not a lot of people giving blood anymore. There's nobody really donating blood, which is very important. You have so many other diseases, so many blood transfusion diseases like sickle cell. They're a part of it. And we're going to try to work on getting legislation so that disease can get the proper funding to take care of certain things. Who else we have at the table? We have restorative justice. We're going to take a page out of the Gloucester Police Department, where they have a project similar to Cambridge, where there's a beeline, depending on what your level of crime was, where they want to help you get help, like drug addiction. If you're in a gang, you want to leave gang violence and you just don't know how to go about it, they'll put you under somebody's wing. Those are things that the chief and Captain Hussein from the Dorchester Mattapan District are going to be involved in. We're giving them a citation for their community outreach. It's just
I know there's more details here.
Yes.
So if people would like to get more information, you've got something online that they can take a look at, maybe?
yes. If you look on Facebook, you look February 6th, and you just look for the African Caribbean American Advocacy Coalition. It's out there. If you want to hit me directly, it's no problem to call me, 617-637-2468, or you can email me at Clifton, CLIFTON _Braithwaite, BRAITHWAITE @live.com. Or you can call Dan Collinane's office and speak to his Chief of Staff, Leon David, at the State House, and we will surely point you in the right direction.
And Rob, I know you have a website, so maybe you can tell people about that.
Yeah, robstull.com.
Easy to find. Thank you very much, Rob Stull and Clifton Braithwaite.
Thank you.
Thank you.